My history with the rainbow goes back. I remember my grandmother telling me, you know, don't tell your mom, but I had to go pick her up. She passed out in the parking lot at the Rainbow one time. But I started hanging out there, and I used to make fake IDs. And so me and my friends, you know, we were talking like 15, 16 years old, 17 years old, and used to all go and hang out at the Rainbow and try and pick up chicks, and you know, all the cool rock guys from different bands were hanging out, and it was just the place for us to go. And at some point, I don't know why, one night I walked up to the Rainbow, and I was with Steven, and he had a fake ID that I'd made for him, and I had mine. And he went in before me, and I went to go in, and Steady, the doorman, who's still the doorman to this day, all of a sudden looked at my ID and recognized that it wasn't genuine, you know, and wouldn't let me in. And it was that particular evening that I first met Mario, because he was standing in the doorway, and he backed Steady on making sure that I didn't get into the club that night. But it was a Tuesday, and it was ladies' night, and I went home. I was a little tipsy, and I went home and decided I could go in as a girl, and I would go in and pick up on Steven, because Steven would fuck anything, right? So I put my hair up in a hat and wore one of my mom's dresses, and came back and parked my car up on at the top of Doheny, and walked all the way, you know, down Sunset and into the Rainbow parking lot, and actually got in as a chick. No questions asked. And I was on a mission. I was going to find Steven. It was going to be a funny joke. I was going to pinch his ass or something, and he'd go to like turn around and go, "Hey, baby," and it would be me. You know? And but he'd already picked up a girl and split. And so at some point, the black cloud of reality came down, and I realized that I was at the Rainbow in girls' clothes, and it was one of the most horrible, inhibiting moments of my fucking life. And so I hightailed it out of the Rainbow and managed to make it back to my car. But I just remember every horn, every whistle, every yell I thought was directed at me. So it gave me a whole new insight as to how girls feel, you know. Anyway, but that was the first night that I met Mario. And as I got older and Guns N' Roses became more prominent, I was still basically like 19 and 20 years old in the early days of Guns N' Roses, but at that point we could get into the Rainbow. And Mario just was one of those guys that was, for some reason, sort of took a liking to me. As much as I was a troublemaker and I was rowdy and I was drunk all the time, for some reason he liked me. So he was always, you know, really cool to me. And, you know, there was some darker periods in my life later on when I was strung out and I needed money and stuff. And there was a couple occasions that Mario had loaned me $100 and told me to get my shit together and so on.